Most people believe that money is freedom, but for Machiavelli, money was something deeper. It was a force, not because of what it could buy, but because of what it could reveal. He believed that money does not simply make people wealthy. It shows who they truly are. Today we chase after money, flaunt it, worship it, yet still feel weak. Why? Because we do not control money. Money controls us. We work for it, worry about it, lose sleep, loyalty, and love because of it. But Machiavelli would say this: money is not a goal, but a tool. If you do not learn to use it wisely, it will be used against you. So today, I will tell you about 13 rules of money, not about how to earn it, but about how to control the power behind it. Simple, cold, and life-changing. The first rule is that money does not give power. It reveals who you truly are. Money does not make you powerful. It merely shows the world who you already were deep down. If you were insecure, money will only amplify your insecurity. If you were weak, money will make you reckless. If you had discipline, money will give it weight. That is why people change when they become wealthy. Not because money changes them, but because it removes the mask. Machiavelli never respected wealth for the sake of luxury. He respected the strategy behind it. Because money is not a goal, it is an amplifier. Think about it. A person earns more and suddenly becomes arrogant. A woman inherits wealth and immediately begins to treat people as tools. A young man makes millions and starts buying things to appear smart rather than to be smart. But truly strong people do not need to demonstrate this. Their presence speaks louder than any of their possessions. Their energy makes people adjust without a single word. Here is Machiavelli's lesson. Do not chase money to feel powerful. Strive for power through discipline, reputation, and structure. Let money be proof, not the source of your strength. Because there is nothing more pitiful than a person who has money but lacks respect, presence, or a voice in the room unless they are spending. Money does not create kings. It reveals those who should never have worn a crown. So before you become wealthy, build character to withstand it. Otherwise, money will own you, not the other way around. The second rule, show money, lose power. Today, everyone flaunts their wealth. Watches, cars, brands, bank accounts. They think that boasting about money makes them powerful. But for Machiavelli, this was not power. It was weakness, exposure. Because once people know what you have, they begin to calculate what they can take. They start planning how to get close, copy you, or destroy you. You have given them the map. True power moves in silence. The smartest players do not boast. They build quietly. They earn money, accumulate it, hide it, and make people wonder how much they are really worth. Because when no one knows your true strength, no one knows where to strike. Machiavelli would say that if your money is the loudest thing about you, then you have already lost. Because now you are not just wealthy, you are a target. What does a person do following Machiavelli's wisdom? They let people think they have less. They drive a modest car. They dress simply. They smile when they are underestimated. Meanwhile, they own the building where others work. They manage the cash flows behind the scenes. And when it is time to act, they strike from an unexpected angle. Do not let yourself be underestimated. Let them think you are average. That is how true power works. It is not about impressing people. It is about staying in the shadows until the right moment. So the next time you want to boast, stop. Ask yourself, do you want attention or control? Because you cannot have both. Silence builds kings. Loudness creates targets. Rule number 3. If you do not control the money, you do not own the name. Most people think that if they earn money, they are its owners. But that is a mistake. If someone can freeze, cut, or take it away, you are not wealthy. You are rented. This is what scared Machiavelli the most. Dependency, not poverty, not struggle, but the need for something from someone who can cut it off at any moment. Ask yourself, if your income stopped tomorrow, would your life collapse? If so, you are not free. You are under control. You work at a job, one letter, and you are fired. You depend on one client, one change in mood, and it is all over. You rely on a platform, one policy change, and your success disappears. This is not wealth. This is a trap. Machiavelli would say, never let your survival depend on someone else's decision. What does a person do following Machiavelli's wisdom? They build multiple streams, not just of income, but of independence. A quiet business hidden in the shadows. Cash flows that do not depend on being liked, praised, or noticed. Because once you become independent, everything changes. You say no without fear. You walk away without panic. You do not beg, do not explain, and do not conform. You decide. And even better, when others depend on you for money, you do not need to say a word. They censor themselves. They strive to earn your approval. They fear losing your support more than they want anything else. That is true power, not just possessing money. It is being the reason someone else gets theirs. Create that. Because if you do not, you will spend your life working for someone else's dream, while they decide your fate. Rule number 4. Money will always reveal loyalty. People say they love you. They say they are loyal. They claim they will never betray you. And then money comes into play. And suddenly, their true face comes to light. Give someone a promotion. They become arrogant. Offer them power. They forget who helped them. Earn more money than they do. And they begin to quietly resent you. Because money does not change people. It reveals who they truly are. This is how a Machiavellian individual tests loyalty. They do not ask questions. They give people opportunities and observe their behavior. Do they remain humble or start acting as if they are entitled? Do they support you or begin to compete? Do they show gratitude or suddenly decide they deserve more? The answers to these questions will tell you a lot. That is why money should be used strategically, not just for purchases, but to study people. Give, but observe. Support, but stay in the shadows. Offer value, but always watch what it does to their ego. False loyalty disappears quickly when envy awakens. A Machiavellian would say, do not trust those who smile at your rise but burn with envy at your success. Do not fear losing people when you achieve success. That is when the true ones reveal themselves and let go of the rest. Your wealth is not for approval. It is your mirror. Use it to see who is real and who is pretending until they decide they are being left behind. This is how you protect your kingdom. Knowing who sits within your walls and who is about to breach them. Rule number 5. The weak chase money. The strong control names. There are two types of people in the world: those who want money and those who understand that others want it and use that desire to stay in control. Most people run after money as if it were air. They talk about wealth. They dream of cars, watches, houses, and vacations. But a Machiavellian would laugh. They did not chase money. They studied what it does to people. They saw the truth. The one who gives money controls behavior. That is why kings did not argue. They distributed gold. That is why modern leaders do not fight. They finance. Want to be powerful? Stop begging for a check. Start thinking like a creator. Consider what you can create that people need. What skill can you develop to gain an advantage? How can you shift from asking to being asked? Because here's the truth. The one who pays does not chase. The one who owns the table does not ask for a seat. Once you control the flow of money, people adjust themselves to be closer to you. They obey without orders. They remain loyal without contracts. They strive to please not because they love, but because they need. This is true wealth. Not income, not luxury, but power that moves quietly. Machiavelli knew that those who are truly powerful never boast of wealth. They build systems. They study patterns. They make people dependent and remain untouchable. Do not worship money, control access to it, and watch how quickly the game changes. Rule number 6. Let them think that money is a prize. While you are taking real power, most people are busy chasing something misguided. They run after paychecks, fight for promotions, and dream of titles, trophies, and applause. And while they are distracted, Machiavelli remains calm and quiet. Once they realize that money is merely bait, a trap, and not treasure, they will understand. You do not need to be the loudest. You do not need to win every deal. You need to understand the bigger game. Let them chase attention while you build the stage. After all, true power is not in money. It is in structure. The one who owns the system never asks. Let others fight for a salary increase. You focus on becoming the one who signs their checks. Let others argue for a seat at the table. You focus on owning the building. Because when people count money in heaps, they will run in circles while you slowly build walls around them. Machiavelli would say, "Do not compete, do not complain, focus on your position. Create value that others need. Make yourself indispensable. And just watch as people come to you on their own. Not for love, not for friendship, but for access. Because when you control what they all crave, you do not need to force them. They will strive to stay close to you. This is the true strategy. This is power without noise. And once you learn to use their desire as leverage, you will never have to chase after them again. Rule number 7. Money creates comfort. Then control the fear of losing it. People do not fear poverty. They fear losing comfort. Once someone gets used to a certain lifestyle, a car, an apartment, respect, they will do anything to keep it. This is where true control begins. Machiavelli understood this. People will work harder to maintain what they already have than to gain something new. Therefore, the smartest move is not to scare people. Instead, provide comfort. Enough success, enough approval, enough access. Then gradually make them feel that it could be taken away. There is no need to shout. There is no need to threaten. All you need to do is hold back on the comfort. Silence or shift attention. Make them wonder if they have lost your favor. This uncertainty drives people crazy. They will work harder, remain loyal, even betray others to stay in your circle, not because you forced them, but because they have tied their identity to the life your money has given them. This is how empires were built, not through war, but through salaries, gifts, and symbols of status that could vanish at any moment. So do not give people comfort out of kindness. Give it to see how far they are willing to go to protect it. When someone feels they have something to lose, they stop thinking clearly. They submit faster, apologize sooner. They correct themselves without being told. This is how quiet dominance is created. Not through fear, not through pain, but through the fear of going back. Because once they experience comfort, they will do everything to avoid hunger again. The rules are 8. The rich do not respect or admire their people. People think that money brings respect. This is not true. It brings attention. And attention is not power. This is a test. Machiavelli saw the lie that many believe, that if you show people how wealthy you are, they will admire you. But in reality, they start counting. They do not look at your watch. They see how much it costs. They do not admire your lifestyle. They look for cracks in it. They do not praise your strength. They evaluate how to take it away. The poor admire wealth, while the powerful analyze it. Because true players do not care about what you have bought. They care about how vulnerable you are. If you need to demonstrate your success to feel powerful, you have already lost. Machiavelli would never flaunt his wealth. He would let people guess, remaining quiet, disciplined, and restrained. After all, the less people know about your money, the harder it is to attack you. A flashy rich person attracts envy and enemies. The quiet one evokes confusion and fear. The key is to never show how much you need their approval. Do not give them a map of your weaknesses. Be rich in discipline, not in showiness. Be strong through mystery, not noise. Let them wonder how you move. Let them question how much you actually have. Because once people cannot measure your worth, they stop trying to challenge it. This is how you protect your throne, not by flaunting your gold, but by making them doubt how deep your empire extends. True power is leaving without fear. Most people are afraid of losing money. Why? Because they think their identity depends on it. If I lose this income, who will I become? If I lose this job, how will people perceive me? Machiavelli would call this emotional slavery. True power begins when you can lose money and remain calm, not because you are careless, but because you know you can earn it back again. This is the most powerful move in any situation. To look someone in the eye and silently say, "I do not need this, but you do." Then they start chasing you, not because you are richer, but because you are free. The moment you stop needing approval, deals, or validation, you become dangerous. Most people will do anything to avoid falling behind. They will stay in toxic jobs, beg for promotions, and compromise their values just to maintain their standard of living. But the Machiavellian is different. He structures his life so that he has the option to leave. His strength does not come from luck. It comes from structure. Multiple sources of income, no emotional debts, no attachment to money. He does not beg. He pauses. And while others plead, he decides. When you reach this level, you do not chase money. You use it. You do not become emotional. You become strategic. Because the real game is not about being the richest. It is about remaining calm when others are in despair. And as soon as people sense this calmness in you, they will start playing by your rules, not their own. The rule is, whoever controls the flow controls the game. Machiavelli did not trust titles, fame, or loud wealth. He observed carefully, not who had the most gold, but who decided where it would go. Because true power does not belong to the richest person in the room. It belongs to the one upon whom everything depends. You may have millions, and you can still be replaceable. But if you control the flow, the systems, the structure, the attention, people revolve around you, not because they love you, not because they admire you, but because they need you. This is the power of positioning. You want not just money. You want to be the one who signs the check, the one who approves the budget, who grants access and can take it away. And here is the twist. When those around you depend on your approval, you do not need to argue or explain. Your silence becomes pressure, your delay gains power, and your absence becomes a warning. This is why kings were not just wealthy. They were gatekeepers, creating systems in which people fought for access. Not just for attention, as Machiavelli would say. Do not strive to be loved. Strive to be necessary. By controlling the flow of money, you manage the flow of decisions, emotions, and direction. People will self-censor, flatter you, and change their behavior not out of fear, but out of dependence. And when this happens, you no longer chase money or respect. You set the framework in which they live. This is true financial power. It does not shout. It quietly shapes reality, the ultimate goal, power without noise. Now you understand. Money is not just numbers in a bank. It is not about big houses or fast cars. It is about how you move, how you build, and how you make others move without a single word. Machiavelli never chased wealth to feel successful. He studied how money controls behavior, reveals weaknesses, and quietly shapes the world. And now you know this too. True power does not come from wealth. It arises from being unshakable without money and dangerous with it. You build wealth without needing applause. You give without losing position. You act with the intention not to impress, but to remain in control. You have stopped seeing money as the finish line. Now it is your tool, your filter, your weapon, and the moment you stop needing it to feel strong, you become someone whom no one can control. When you speak, the room listens, but obeys when you are silent, because now you do not display wealth. You embody it. You do not chase opportunities. You create them. You do not prove anything to the world. You allow the world to adapt to you. And this is the final commandment of Machiavelli and money. Remain calm, structured in your positions. Let them speculate just as you have done. Let them whisper about how easy it looked. Let them feel the pressure not from your voice, but from your presence. Because upon reaching this level, you are not chasing wealth. You become its source. And in a world governed by illusions, the one who understands money rules all.